Linda is in Pennsylvania. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I'm calling with a question about a huge mistake that I made a long time ago before I found out about your program. I found out about your program in March and started in April, and I got my husband on board. And in the meantime, we paid off about $27,000 in debt.
Way to go.
But the problem, thanks, but the problem that we have is the mistake is I co-signed for a student loan for my son. My son is 23 years old. He still hasn't graduated college. And we're now basically estranged from him. We're not speaking to him.
Why?
Just because of his very irresponsible, abusive to us emotionally and verbally. My husband is his stepfather, so it's pretty much been me that's been raising him. So the mistake is now that he's not paying his student loans.
Yep.
And we're paying those.
You get to. That's what a co-signer does. 130 grand?
Right. Yes. He went to Penn State University for engineering. He has 12 credits to go, so he didn't even graduate. And anytime we would ask him what his plan is, basically that caused him to not speak to us, and now we have a lot of resentment on our end because we're stuck paying these bills. So my question is, we're basically debt-free except for our home, and we're now in the mode to fully fund our emergency fund.
Not anymore. You got to pay a $130,000 loan.
Well, and that's, I guess, my question to you is what to do.
Yeah.
The high-interest rate loan, like 9%. My husband is just so resentful because of the whole situation, and he just wants us to attack paying off the mortgage, hoping that he'll come around and then hopefully, do what he's supposed to do the right thing and pay off the loan. So I guess that's where he's on board.
I didn't hear anything here that tells me there's any probability of that happening.
Right. So, and then my other question is, I've looked into refinancing, but as long as my son is on the loan, the rate is ridiculously high because he has terrible credit.
Well, don't
Should
put him on.
Should we refinance them?
Yeah. Listen. You're going to end up paying this.
I know.
I'm sorry. Because you have a 23-year-old who's being a twerp. He's verbally abusive. He's not worth spit right now. He hadn't even finished his dadgum engineering degree. And he's mad at the world, and he's king of the world. And it's going to be a decade before he grows up. You're going to pay this.
Just proceed and pay him.
You're going to pay it because you're a co-signer.
So should we wait and should we fully fund our emergency fund? It would take about 5 or 6 months and then just attack it.
You have a $130,000 student loan you need to pay. What is your household income?
About $170,000.
Good. So you're going to be able to pay it off in a couple years.
Yeah, about 3 years if we're...
No, 2.
You think 2?
Yeah, 60,000 out of 170 says you're living on 110. Wah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
listen,
I don't blame you for having your heart broken. I really don't blame your husband because his stepson's a twerp for being mad about that. But you signed this and he married you. And you're not getting out of this. And the kid ain't going to pay it. So you're going to have to. I'm so sorry. Sorry for the heartbreak and the estrangement. But I would just take it on and get her done in 2 years.